Yes, hello, welcome. It's me, Mr. Gary, and you're joining me on English Speaking Skills, the channel where we help to develop your pronunciation and general English speaking skills. And today's stream, we're going to look at some words. They're silent letter words, so we're going to get on with those right now. You want to learn a little bit more about pronunciation, especially of these silent letters. They can be a little bit tricky, so pens and paper at the handy. If you don't have those, you've got a little bit of time before I dive right into the stream, and we're going to have a look at these in detail this evening. And as I say, repetition is the key for English language learners like you. Alright, if you want to really hone in those skills and really improve your English speaking skills, this is the channel for you. Okay, we start with crumb, column, sword, need, wreck, fasten, numb, excuse me while I read my list there. I've got a lot of words. I'll just change the lighting up, make it easier for me to read. Gnaw, glisten, condemn, knapsack, castle, climb, islet, and rain, and receipt. So a number of words here in tonight's stream that you may have come across in the past. Perhaps you're struggling with the pronunciation of them, and I'm going to try and help you with those as we go through. So let's start with word number one. There is a quiz coming up, so get ready for the quiz. Hello Pallavi, good evening to you. And the first one is crumb. Crumb. Spelling C-R-U-M-B. Crumb. Crumb. So when you eat a biscuit and little bits of the biscuit or cracker, they fall down, you might get little crumbs. Okay, so those are called crumbs. Column. Column. Something that's straight up. Vertical, I believe it is. So vertical, straight up column, and we're going to have a look at some of columns this evening as we go through. Sword. Sword. S-W-O-R-D. A knight will carry a sword. Column, spelling C-O-L-U-M-N. Column. Okay, a silent N on that one that can cause people a little bit of confusion, especially when spelling. So let's help. This stream will help you with your spelling as well. So column, need, need. So when you have the dough, and you might see the chefs and they're it looks like massaging the dough, doesn't it? What they're actually doing is kneading the dough, and the idea is to get more air into the dough, so when it cooks, or when they bake the bread or bake the dough, you get lots of air bubbles inside the bread. It makes it nice, soft and fluffy. Knead. Spelling K-N-E-A-D. Knead. Fasten. Fasten. To fasten your seatbelt is a classic example. How will a knight hold a sword? Well, they might like that, hold it with the handle, and sword would be very long. Okay, so yes, that's a good question, Pallavi. Well done. Fasten. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get scary, or about to get fast. Wreck is our next word. Wreck. W-R-E-C-K. wreck. And a wreck is a damaged vehicle. Okay, we could describe a shipwreck. So a ship that has been sunk would be classified or called a shipwreck once it's been recovered. And yes, a shipwreck is always not a very nice thing, I don't think, but best to get those things out of the sea for environmental reasons, I imagine, as well. So I'm just going to quickly check that. I think it looks like we're okay. No complaints so far about the audio. No complaints about the... Yes, Pallavi, you're absolutely right. I mean night. Alright, now I've got a really good little quiz lined up for you this evening, so that's going to really test you. But this is the pre-teaching bit, okay? So I try to do the pre-teaching, then we'll go into a quiz, and then you can tell me whether you've learnt it or not. And if not, then we need another quiz. Now, when we have pain and we don't feel it, then we might be numb to the pain. Numb. Okay, so example, if for example I broke my finger but I couldn't feel any pain, then I say that it is numb. N-U-M-B, a silent B on numb there. Alright, so quite a tricky one for many learners there. Numb. It could also be an emotional, to describe an emotional situation. Example, if a family member passed away, you might feel numb for a little while there, because that's not a very nice event. Okay, you don't feel yourself, you feel very numb, a bit lost perhaps. Not a very nice thing. N-U-M-B, numb. Okay, next one. You can type these into the chat box as I spell them out if you like. Always good to practice. Maybe a pencil, bit of paper if you want to do that. That's good, and good practice for you. Knit. Knit. Now my auntie, she used to knit, and she liked to knit cardigans for me. Example, we might have the wool and then a needle, and then she would tie the needle in the wool, and then very shortly after she would have created a cardigan. So you would knit the cardigan, alright, or knit wool. Sewing, you don't normally knit when you sew. It's S-E-W for sew. You'd have a needle and a thread in that situation. Okay, good. Next one is gnaw. Gnaw. G-N-A-W. Gnaw. So when you gnaw, it's like chewing or munching something. And when you gnaw something, you might gnaw your teeth as well. You might do that in anger. So I think we discussed that one last time as well. Condemn. Now this is a tricky one, because when you condemn something, it means that you disapprove of something publicly. Alright, so I condemn your actions, I condemn this, I condemn that, meaning that you don't approve of something, meaning that you don't like something. Condemn, we spell that one C-O-N-D-E-M-N. C-O-N-D-E-M-N. Condemn. So it's a word that you might come across, especially on the news lately. If you watch global news, you will know that different leaders are condemning other leaders because of their bad actions. Okay, and in some countries, people get condemned to death. Alright, for example, they may have broken a law locally or done something that's not socially acceptable. So they go to court and then they get condemned to death. So condemn. Here's a nice word. I haven't used this word for a long time as well, and it's knapsack. 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 It's a bit like a small backpack. Okay, and children usually have knapsacks with them when they go to school. Perhaps they've got a little lunchbox in there with a sandwich, a drink, maybe some fruit like an apple or an orange, for example. And all of that would be packed by mummy in the morning. And, oh, I'll put your lunch in the knapsack. Like that. And some mummies might say that. Some mummies, oh, your lunch is in the knapsack, she would say. Knapsack. Yes, if you want to type these into the chat, guys, that's okay. I will type these into the... Yes, don't worry. I will. If you want me to type them in, I will type them in. Just give me a minute. I'll get through the word list, and then I'll type them into the chat in a moment. If these are new words as well, and it might be helpful then once you've got those words. Research them, write them down, put them in a notebook, something like that. Knapsack. Good. Knapsack. Knapsack. It's a silent k. Okay. The next one is reign. Reign. So a reign means a length of time that somebody has ruled something. So Queen Elizabeth's reign on the throne in the UK has lasted over 50 years. Her reign has been a very long time. So she reigns over the British people in that situation. Reign, and it's spelt R-E-I-G-N. Reign. Okay, so the king or the queen would reign over his people or over her people. The next one is castle. Castle. In my country, you can go and visit a castle anytime you like. There are many, many castles across the UK. Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland has a few castles as well. Well, this is the idea of this stream, isn't it? She says, Pallavi says, I do lots of spelling mistakes in English, and the idea of this stream is, Pallavi, to try and help you and help other learners with spellings as well, so you can do better spellings. Just remember, everybody, if you're watching on catch up, if you read this little note here, you can enable chat so you can see what I'm talking about and what my subscribers or viewers are talking about, and then it keeps you up with the flow of the stream. Alright. I also have good offers on Grammarly. If you visit my website, mrgary.com, you can do that at your own time. And if you know any other tricky words, put them in the chat and I'll show you how best to pronounce these awkward, tricky words. On with the stream, and it is castle. C-A-S-T-L-E. Castle. Okay. Once upon a time, in the UK, many kings and different queens built or ordered their people to build many castles. Why? Well, because England was at war with Scotland. There were wars with Wales, and obviously those three countries didn't like each other. One wanted to rule the other, so there was always constant infighting. Okay, and that goes back many hundreds of years in history. Climb is our next one. C-L-I-M-B. Climb. Alright. When you want to climb a mountain, or climb a wall, or if you want to climb the ladder of success in your career, in your job, climb. You would need to climb, so to go upwards, isn't it? With a ladder, perhaps. It doesn't have to be a real ladder. But yeah, a good one. Let's see, or pronunciation of new words. Yes, don't worry, that's why you're in my stream. I'm going to help you with those things as well, and we'll whip through this. Let's have a look at this. Oh, of course, yes. If you buy something, we would need a receipt. Okay, a receipt. So the reason why you have a receipt is to show the proof of purchase. Receipt is spelt R-E-C-E-I-P-T. The P is the silent letter. Alright? Receipt. Receipt. And the next word, our final word, and this denotes a small area of land, usually in the sea. It's an islet. Islet. It's a silent S. Spelling I-S-L-E-T. Islet. Okay, so she got this one correct. Numb. Now, what I'm going to do, Palaver, is something a bit unusual. I'm going to just play a little video while I type the words in. Alright, so I'm going to do that right now, and then let's have a look. Just give me a second, because typing can be a little bit awkward, right? Especially because I need to get it correct. Okay, so I'm going to try and type those things in. You're very confused about the UK states. Well, we can touch on that a little bit later. Okay, I haven't prepared anything for it, but after I've done the activities tonight, let's have a look. We can have a look. She says, I'm very confused about the UK states. Well, they're actually countries. Alright, I would show you my passport, but unfortunately I don't have it at the moment, so that document can then explain it a little bit better. And I also have a very nice book. My very nice book is over there, so I'll look at that in a moment, and perhaps I can show you. Right, okay, let's have a little look. I'm going to wait. Whoa. For example, in the middle. If you give me a moment, I'm going to just share this with you. It's a bit of an experiment. It's just so that something continues playing while I'm typing these things in. Okay, there we go. Middle Ages, people pronounce the k in the words like night and knife. So you can imagine they sounded knife, knight. Okay, so I'm just going to lower that down a little bit there, just a second. There we go. That's a little bit easier on the eyes. It makes a lot of difference. Okay. So I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. So sorry about the delays there. It's not been an easy day today. So I'm just going to get fired through this live stream. Welcome if you're just joining. We're talking about silent letters. So what about gnat? Gnome. What about knife? Doubt. These are some of the words that we're going to look at. We're going to practice. So a knight, spelled K-N-I-G-H-T, is a person who's usually armoured in a solid steel suit in the Middle Ages, the knights of the realm, they were servants of the queen like soldiers. Alright, you might have seen them riding on horses, perhaps with lancers. Perhaps you've seen them portrayed in TV series, movies, etc. So a knight is a very old type of soldier, and the knight would usually stand guard, or many of them would stand guard in the castles around the UK and protect the castles, keep a lookout for the enemy. So that's a good one. Knight. Second one is a baby sheep, which would be, yes, that's right, you got it, a lamb. And the thing about lambs is it's spelled L-A-M-B. L-A-M-B. So there are many lambs in the field. Okay. The lambs are very cute and fluffy. And yes, lamb. Now lamb is actually a dish that comes up in the British summer menu. After the lambs have been born in the spring, they get fattened up. And then sadly, they end up on people's dinner plates in the summertime. And lamb is usually served with such as mint sauce, roast potatoes, mixture of seasonal vegetables and some gravy perhaps. A delicious summertime treat, I think, roast lamb. Gnat, spelling G-N-A-T. And the gnat is like a little fly, very, very small, and they swarm in clouds. In the UK we call them, the most common type are midges, but there are a family of them, and I was looking up at this earlier on. So yes, a gnat, or a cloud of gnats, is a swarm of very, very small flies. Much smaller than the house flies that you're probably familiar with, and you would find these in the UK during dawn and dusk, especially around areas of woodland and still fresh waterways such as a pond perhaps, maybe a lake as well. So those are... Right, okay, sorry about that. It sounds like you have, it was a bit of echoing happening there, so I do apologise about that. Sadly, there's not much I can do about it. I'm not so sure what was going on. Teacher, your voice is echoing. Yes, I can see that. You've I think you said that a couple of times, but I did that just to keep things moving along whilst I typed in the word list, alright? So, the word list is crumb, number 1, column, number 2, sword. Okay, let's have a look at crumb first. Alright, let Mr. Gary put that on there. Crumb, C-R-U-M, silent B, crumb. Okay, column is another one. We don't pronounce the N on column. Column. Alright, good job, well done. And the next one here is sword. Notice the W is not pronounced. I come across learners and say sword, Mr. Sword. No, there's no W in sword. You just pronounce the S-O-R-D, right? Ignore the W, it's a silent letter. Twice. Oh my god, what have I done there? Let me have a look. Oh, so you see, the need is the other one. Let me do that one now. Okay, need. Alright, when you need the bread, don't say sorry about teacher, you're great. I'm not great. I just keep trying to do what I do. So need. When you knead the bread with the dough and you're trying to massage the bread and get the air into the bread, okay? Beautiful thing is bread. I love bread, especially naan bread. Yum, yum, yum. Knit is the next one. Knit, K-N-I-T. We don't pronounce the K. Numb is the other one. When we don't feel pain, for example, as we should. Perhaps we're aggrieved by a death in the family. Perhaps we physically hurt ourselves and your body can become numb to pain. Wreck. Wreck. W-R-E-C-K. Wreck is the next one. It's there. Think of a shipwreck, a car wreck, or another vehicle that's been damaged. Could be called a wreck. Somebody who's very nervous could be described as a nervous wreck. Think about when you go to a test or an exam, you might be a nervous wreck in that situation. Next one, fasten. Fasten, F-A-S-T-E-N. And when we fasten something, think about fastening our seatbelts. We don't usually fasten our shoelaces. We usually tie the shoelaces. But we could also fasten other things. So, example, if we're fastening a part to a vehicle, that kind of situation there. So, fasten. Gnaw. Yes, G-N-A-W. Gnaw. Example, gnawing your teeth in anger, gnawing on a chocolate bar. She's gnawing, like, it's kind of like chew, right? It's an action with the teeth. When a dog gnaws on a bone, for example, the cow gnaws on grass, okay, like a chewing motion. Good job, well done. And I can see you're really great, sir, like me, she says. Yes, Pallavi's really great. She's really great. She always comes to the live stream. She always asks questions, which is great as well. Glisten. All right, glisten. Notice it's a very weak t sound there. Glisten, glisten. And it's kind of like a shiny reflection, isn't it? Glisten. Example, the water glistened off the lake this morning. Alright. Condemn means to denounce or disapprove of somebody's actions. Just a moment while I do something there. Let me see. Okay, right. So there we go. Knapsack, a little bag that children might have that contains snacks. Okay, it hangs on the back, a bit like a backpack, but very small. Okay, much smaller than a normal backpack. Reign. Reign, R-E-I-G-N. The Queen's reign of the British the British Commonwealth extends to over 50 years. Reign. Okay. Next one, castle, and I talked about castles earlier. Very big old structures that kings and queens ordered to be built in the Middle Ages. So when we talk about the Middle Ages, we're talking up to about 1800. Anything before that is classified as the Middle Ages, between 1000 AD and then up to that era, 1700, and that's where a lot of battles were fought in the UK. Battles between different parts of the UK. So Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland as well. There were battles between those countries, and they lasted for very many years. Not only that, the British were battling the French, the Norwegians, the Finnish, Spanish as well. The Spanish tried to invade Great Britain many hundreds of years ago, and it was a terrible war. What's that? IMB. Oh gosh, I've typed something in wrong there. Is it limb? Could be a limb. Let me check my list. Yes, a limb is another. Oh, climb. It should be climb, but for some reason, maybe I've tapped away. It should be climb. 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 No need to pronounce the B on that one. Islet as well is another one. Right, okay, don't say sorry about that, you're great. I know, it's very nice to be flattered. Flattery will get you everywhere, Pallavi, in your life. Let me give you that tip from a tip from the top, should I say. So let's have a look at this one, and yes, I'm just putting a new one at the bottom there. What concepts or ideas do you have difficulty with in English? Comment in the chat box or comment in the comment box if you're catching up on VOD. It's always nice to hear your struggles, things that you're finding difficult, and then, you know, if possible, I'll help you by making a video or by doing a live stream, whatever is the easiest. That sounds a bit slack. Now, I like live streaming. I like video making. This week I've made 6 videos, but they're all school videos. For the school where I work. So yes. No, sir, I was not calling myself great. The example you gave after that was for that comment that some get nervous due to exam tests like me. Yes, a lot of people get nervous before exam tests, and I'll tell you now, they may say that they're not nervous, some people. Oh no, I'm not nervous about the exam. Deep down they are, you know. Everybody has some nerves about when we do exams, when we do tests, whatever your level is, because there's always a risk of failure, and nobody likes to be a failure. Nobody likes to fail these things. It's a time-honoured attitude where people have nerves about some. They'll have butterflies, they may have nerves in their stomach, they may be, ooh, you know, I don't want to do this test, I'm a bit nervous, and blah blah blah. How do I know my English level? That's a very good question, Pallavi. Well, it depends how you are measuring it, okay, or how the people who are in charge of the tests and the exams, how they measure what your level is. You know, I've done a lot of placement tests in my life, and those placement tests are generally very good, but they give us an idea about what somebody's knowledge is. It's not concrete. So with placement tests, you know, it gives us an idea of, okay, this is what the student knows. These are the things that perhaps they're not fully aware of or need a bit of extra practice with. So there we go. Now, teachers will have placement tests. Language centres, schools have placement tests. While we're doing the stream, all right, well, while we're doing the game, because it's a little bit tricky, I'll try and get you a link to a very good placement test, and that will tell you, all right. I'll put the link later in the chat box. So if you're watching VOD, stay tuned, watch all the stream, and you can do your own placement test. I'm not so sure. I think I have given one in the past, but I'm quite happy to give it again. Maybe you weren't present during that particular live stream, so don't worry, it's fine. Alright, I'll give you a placement test later on. Perhaps we could do a placement test. That would be fun, wouldn't it? So here we go. We're going to give you a little quiz now, and the little quiz is it's all about silent letters. So these are the things that we've just learned. Let me see what my view is at the moment. Go to channel and remove. Right, okay. There we go. So we can see the quiz. You can see the quiz there. That's good. Right. So let's the word wall quiz show. I love word wall. It's great. Great for making quizzes. This is Nelson's blah 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 in London. This is Nelson's blah 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 in London. Is it A column, B column, or C column? Which one is it? Tell me which one you think it is. Type in the chat box which one you think it is. Is it? You could also type the spelling as well. If you want to do the spelling, type the spelling in there, and then I can try and type the or tap the correct answer. I'm not so sure if Palaver is still there at the moment, so I'm going to just delay for a few seconds. Wait for my answer. Type the answer. Is it A column, B column, or C column? Well, the answer for this one is B column. C-O-L-U-M-N. Silent N on the end, okay? Let's have a look at that. Right, next one is... There are some blah 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 on the floor. Please clean them up when you get a moment. Is it A, crumb, K-R-U-M-B, B, crumbs, C-R-U-M-B-S, or is it C, crumb, C-R-U-M? I'll give you a few seconds. Type the answer into the chat. I'm watching the chat here, guys. If you're still there, maybe you're disconnected or something. Yes, we could look at idioms as well. A little message here. Just type the answers in Pallavi. I'll read this for the benefit of everybody. Teacher, I think English people... Yeah, don't put S on people, okay, because it's a plural and singular word anyway. I think English people use a lot of idioms or phrases when speaking or everywhere, and I don't like these two things. What do you think, sir? These things make English difficult. Yes, idioms make English difficult because we have... I have got some material. I'm going to try and help you do that. I'm putting together the live stream for those things, because that type of live stream, it could literally run on for hours. Alright, so I might do a marathon weekend live stream where I talk about and show you nothing but idioms and phrases and catchphrase, you know, things like that. So it's a good question. Well done. I know they're very difficult. A lot of learners have problems with that because they just don't understand. And those are cultural, you know, they've been around in England and the English language for a long time, and people in the US, you know, they would have problems with them. Alright, so that's a good one. Right, go on then, try and answer this question. Why people don't speak straight. It's called colloquialism, and colloquialism means that, like any language, it has its own perks, slang, it has its own methods and ways of communicating. So really learning English, you know, the stuff in the textbooks, that's just the stuff that they want you to know. But actually, when you open up the English language, it's a real can of worms. It's full of surprises. All right, a can of worms is something that's full of surprises. I used one there, by the way. So there you go. So yes, just try your best to answer that question. Crumb, crumbs, or crumb? Which one is it? let's try and get back to that one. I'll try and get back on topic. And the answer is... the answer is crumbs. Okay, so the answer is crumbs on that one. Okay, let's get on to question number 3. Yes, well done, Pallavi. She's got crumbs. Little small parts of a biscuit or a cracker, for example. Okay, aha! Here's an interesting one. The blah 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 used to carry at least one blah blah blah. Now, I've done 2 here. So, is it the knights used to carry at least one sword? Or is it B, the knight, N-I-G-H-T, used to carry at least one sword? Or is it C, the knights used to carry at least one sword? S-O-R-D. Look at the spelling there. It's a tricky one. And Pallavi says she believes that the answer is A. She doesn't want a lifeline. And the answer is... correct. Well done. You got that one spot on. Perfect. Knights and sword. Good. I thought I'd try and catch you out and, you know, give you something a little bit to really stretch that mind, okay? Yes, and I'll try and get you the 200 points for that, Pallavi, as well. There we go. And you've got it. Well done. Good job. Right, here comes the next question. You need... aha. Aha. You need to blah 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 the dough for another 5 minutes. You need to blah 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 the dough for another 5 minutes. Is it needed? K-N-E-A-D-E-D. Is it B, needs, N-E-E-D-S, or C, need, K-N-E-A-D? You could type the word or type the letter to the correct answer. Oh, I'm not on screen. Oh, it's okay. I can put myself on screen if you want. If that makes you feel a bit more comfortable. Whoops, a daisy. Let's try that. Is that better? I'm in the bottom left now. I don't know if... What are you doing? Which is the best one? Oh my god. What have I done? Cinema layout. What's that? Oh. No. Yeah. Rename, remove from the stream, solo layout. Right, okay. Anyway, I'm in the bottom left. The answer, she says, is see, whether I'm on or not, it doesn't really matter. But I suppose it helps with, like, you know, to see my face and stuff like that. Let me just check. I'm going to just check that again. There. Okay. Right, this question is, please blah 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 before takeoff. Please, oh, yes, please fasten your seatbelt before takeoff. And the answer is C. I've missed the word seatbelt off there for some reason. But anyway, seatbelt is the answer. Fasten is the answer. I was in a bit of a rush earlier when I was doing this, so probably didn't pay too much attention to the accuracy. I'll have to go and fix that later. Right, here we go. She crashed her car. Oh my gosh. It should be car. It's a total... wreck. W-R-E-C-K. It's a total wreck. And again, I haven't spent too much time on accuracy here. I haven't read this properly. Unfortunately, I'm very busy at the moment, so, you know, I don't get much time to do these things. Easy to make mistakes. Yes. Okay, here we go. Quick bonus round. And I think it's that one. 200 is the answer for that. Good job. Right, okay, let's... can you read it okay there? Because on my screen it shows that the quiz is very little. Can you read it okay? I'll just wait for the answer there. Can you read the questions okay? Or do I need to try and adjust that again? Because I don't like that. No, there we go. I think that's a better one actually. That's a better view for you, especially if you're on a hand phone. Some people are on hand phones and they, you know, maybe it's difficult to read, especially if they're viewing in portrait mode, right? So here we go. I can't feel anything in my feet. They are totally... Oh my goodness me, she's answered that one already. They are totally numb. N-U-M-B. They are totally numb. Well done. Good job. Perfect, well done. You were very quick there, Pallavi, with the answer. Well done. My auntie used to like to blah 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 cardigans for me. Is it knit, N-I-T-T? Is it knit, K-N-I-T? Or is it knit, K-N-I-T-T? The answer, I'm not so sure you're there at the moment. The answer for this one is knit. K-N-I-T. Oh, you like this word. Good. Good. I can't see the full chat yet, so it's taking a bit of time for the chat to come through with the answer. Do you like Do you like numb or knit? Aha. The woodlice like to blah 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 away at the wood. Is it A, gnaw, G-N-A-W? Is it B, gnaw, N-A-W? Or is it C, gnaw, N-O-R? Type the answer in the chat box if you think you know. I'll give you 10 seconds additional. And then I'll tell you the answer. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't see it yet that you've answered it, so I'm going to proceed. Answer is G-N-A-W, gnaw. Right, like a biting or chewing action, okay? Those woodlice, I'll tell you. Horrible little critters. You don't want them in your answer. Well done, she answers A. Well done, good job. Good, well done. Gnaw. I like to gnaw on something. I like to gnaw on chocolate, which is what I will do after this live stream. I will gnaw on some nice, delicious, yummy chocolate bars. And oops, unfortunately, I got distracted by talking about chocolate. Water on the lake. Water on the lake. Blah blah blah. In the early morning sunshine. Is it glisten? G-L-I-S-T-E-N. Glisten. G-L-I-S-E-N. That's B. Option C. Listen. L-I-S-E-N. And I think Pallavi says... I think she said A for that one. That might be a previous answer. But... Pallavi, try A. Because it's a silent T. Glisten. Press A, Pallavi. A for apple. She's pressed B, but she needs to press another one. Come on. The answer is A. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. Well done. A. Good job. Oh my god, a lot of pressure here now because I've pressed the wrong card and the countdown timer is flying. Not much time to read the question, so I'm going to have to really pause it. Oh my gosh. I totally blah 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 their actions as being unacceptable, and it means to express complete disapproval, typically in public, censor or sentence someone to a particular punishment, especially death. What is cheating? What's cheating? And she says C. There's no cheating in my live stream. Of course I'm going to guide you to the answer. I'm guiding you to the answer. It's not like you're going to get a national certificate for this, watching the live stream, is it? It's not cheating. It says here to help. I'm here to help and show and demonstrate. Okay? But if you got the answer right, that's the main thing. Now, and we have to build our confidence, don't we? Right? So don't worry, you're not cheating in my live stream. You should fill your blah 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 if you are going camping for a few days. Is it A, knapsack, KNAPSACK? Is it B, knapsack, NAPSACK? Or is it C, hold haul, HOLDHALL? And the answer I'm being given here, I think, is A. Pallavi is answering A, and she says knapsack. And is she correct? Yes. Back of the net. Well done. Good job. Okay, here we go. 200. Oh no. Oh god. I should have got the slow down one. But anyway. Let's see what happens now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So she has blah 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 as queen for over 50 years. She has blah 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 as queen for over 50 years. Is it A, reigned, REIGNED? Is it B, reigned, RAINED? Is it C, reigned? That's a silly word, isn't it? I made that up. I made that. C is a completely made up word. Is it C, reigned, WRAINED? And I think the answer is, I think she says, Pallavi says A. And the answer is, it is A. Well done. Congratulations. Well done. That's the value of pre-teaching stuff, isn't it? Right, so you know you get to see the words. I've shown you them, I've demonstrated them already. Now this one's a tricky one, because that place, Carnarvon, is in Wales. Alright, and in Wales there's a very big castle. I've been to it. It's beautiful, and it's the kind of thing you imagine seeing in Harry Potter or something like that. Carnarvon Castle is located in Wales, not in England. Is it A, Castle, C-A-S-L-E? Is it B, Castle, C-A-S-T-L-E? Or is it C, another made-up word? Some made-up words here from me. K-A-S-T-L-E. And the answer, I'm being told, is B, Castle. Which is, of course, it is correct. Well done. A really good answer. Confident answer there, Pallavi. I'm pleased for you. Well done. Not many left. Here we go. Would you like to blah 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 Mount Everest? And I should put a question mark there because I haven't done one. Climb, K-L-I-M-B. Is A, is B is climbs, or clim, is it? C-L-I-M. And C is climb, C-L-I-M-B. I like the castles so much. Yeah, oh, the castles are fantastic places. Climb, K-L-I-M-B, is A. Clim is B, and climb, C-L-I-M-B, is C. And the answer I'm being told here from Palava is C. So there we go. Good job, well done. So you've got nearly in reality you've got nearly everyone correct. Maybe one not quite correct, okay, but don't worry. And here we go, the next one. Right, okay, here we go. And I think we don't have many left now. Surely not. Yeah, two more left. This one and another one. Oops, that's a typing mistake from me. When you buy, B-U-Y something, you should always get a, is it A, receipt? R-E-C-E-I-P-T, silent P on receipt. Okay. Is it B, recipe? Two words that get confused often, I can tell you. R-E-C-E-I-P-E. Or is it C? This is another made-up word. Recipient. Sir, have you ever failed in this bonus round? Yes, I did. I failed earlier in the earlier one. If you noticed, I pressed the red card, and she says receipt is A. I think she's correct. And once I pressed that red card, the timer here, it went like that. It went really fast. So yeah, that question was a tricky one. When you get the minus or times 3, it means you get 3 times less time. All right. I don't know how they calculate that, but anyway. Let's have a look. Around Indonesia, we have to be careful with this as well. And I'll explain in a moment. Around Indonesia, there are many small. Is it A, islet? A, I-L-E-T. Is it B, islets? I-S-L-E-T-S. Or is it C, islands? I-R-E-L-A-N-D-S. Another made-up word. Right, and the answer, she says, is B. And here we go. So I think that's the final question, is it? Yes, good job. Well done, Pallavi. Yes, I'll just show you the answers. Nelson's Column is a famous landmark, okay, in London. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. Just a second. Oh yes, no, you can't see that. So just a second while I what am I doing? Yes, there. Nelson's Column is a famous landmark. It's I think it's Trafalgar Square, if I remember rightly. I have been there, but many years ago. It's so long since I went to London, I've forgotten all about it. But yeah, it's a nice little. It's a column, right? Nelson's Column. You can see that it goes up very high, and Lord Nelson, who was one of the great seafarers of his day, stands proudly in the middle there. Now, what is that? Oh, this lady here, or gentleman, I think it's a lady, I'm not sure. But she looks like she's giving him a clean. So yeah, they have to maintain the monuments, and it's one of the national monuments. Yeah, it's Trafalgar Square, is that. And yeah, I went there many years ago. Very nice area, quite a busy area in London. Not as busy as it once was, once upon a time. So that was good. Number 2. Let me just check that that's on the correct share. Number 2 was screen share again. There we go. Yeah. Number 2, there are some crumbs on the floor. CRUMBS. Number 3. Number 3, the knights, okay, KNIGHTS, used to carry at least one sword, okay. Number 4, you need to knead the dough for another 5 minutes. Some typos here as well, some silly mistakes by me. Please fasten your seatbelts before takeoff. Or please fasten before takeoff, right? We don't know what we're fastening, but you know, one can assume it's seatbelts. She crashed her car. That's another typo from me. It's a total wreck. Number 7. I can't feel anything in my feet. They are totally numb. 8. My auntie used to knit cardigans for me. 9. The woodlice like to gnaw away at wood. 10. Water on the lake glistens in the early morning sunshine. Number 11. I totally condemn their actions as being unacceptable, expressing disappointment. You should fill your knapsack if you are going camping for a few days. She has reigned, 13. She has reigned as queen for over 50 years. Number 14, Carnarvon Castle is located in Wales, not in England. Number 15, would you like to climb Mount Everest? 16, when you buy something, another typo from me, you should always get a receipt. Number 17, around Indonesia there are many small islets. And could you please show me the castles of the UK? Well, I mean, we can have a look at some other castles. Yeah, I mean, there are many castles. We'll have a look at some of the more famous ones. Some of them are in ruins. All right. Some of them are in ruins, but these places do exist. All right. And if we have a look at some of these here, look, I'll show you some. I'll show you the top 10. We'll have a look at the top 10. This is courtesy of a website called travelchannel.com. Alright, so we're going to look at some of these. It came up top on Google search rank when I searched something, so it should be quite a good website. I hope you can see that one. Can you see it? No, you can't. Oh yeah, you can. Maybe we've got a delay or a lag here. Yes, there we go. Right, yeah, okay. You can. I'll try and scroll. I'm trying to keep myself out of the way as well so that you can see it. Now, this one, travelling. What is this? This one's Windsor Castle. Now, this is one of the Queen's castles, right? She actually lives there. part-time. And it says here, I'll read it for you in case you're on mobile. At 900 years... wait a minute. There we go. I'll try to zoom in a bit so it's easier for you to read. Alright. At 900 years old, Windsor Castle is the largest occupied castle and oldest official royal residence in the world. Windsor Castle is much more than a castle. The grounds include several homes, a large church, and the Royal Palace. Situated 20 miles west of central London, it's also a weekend home of Queen Elizabeth II. One of the monarchy's oldest traditions, the Knights of the Garter, continues to be honoured at Windsor Castle. With the roots in the Middle Ages, the Garter knighthood consists of the monarch, the Prince of Wales, whose title automatically qualifies him as a Knight of the Garter. So Prince Charles is a Knight of the Garter, right? He's the Prince of Wales at the moment. Over 1 million people visit the castle each year. Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton have all been guests of the Queen at the castle. So those three people are US presidents, right? They're former United States presidents. Hampton Court, I don't know. Have we got any pictures on this one? They've not got any pictures on that one. But this one here, I think, if there's a royal wedding, you know, there was a royal wedding there. I think Prince William got married there, actually, if I remember rightly. Prince William got married there. A number of other events have happened in those castles. There's not many pictures here. I thought there'd be more pictures, but obviously not. So we're going to have to go back and we'll have a look at some other famous British castles. Let's have a look. English Heritage should have pictures of them. English Heritage is probably the best website to look at, so we'll look at English Heritage just before we end tonight's stream. Okay. Yeah, your favourite castles. So Dover Castle is another one, right? This one's out in the south, very far southeast. Okay, down in Dover, which is in the county of Kent. The most iconic of all English fortresses, commanding the gateway to the realm for 9 centuries. A century is 100 years, right? There are virtual tours here. I'll put a link in here, so if you want to view them and you want to look at them later, you can. Alright, I'll put a link in the chat in a moment. Kenilworth Castle, from medieval fortresses of to Elizabethan Palace. Kenilworth Castle has been the centre of English affairs for much of its 900-year history, right? So a lot of these castles are actually still working, but a lot of them have been pretty much converted into museums. But I don't, you know, with the way that the wars are fought these days, castles would be irrelevant. All right, Tintagel Castle, not one I've come across. Bolsover Castle, all right, you can go and visit these places. Porchester Castle, Warkworth Castle. Right, now this is English Heritage, so these are the ones just in England, and this is a small selection. Dunstamborough Castle, Carisbrooke Castle, Middleham Castle. I haven't been to many of these. Beeston Castle. So loads and loads of them. But if you wanted to see the more famous ones, I'd say probably the more famous ones are in Wales. So I'm going to go for Welsh castles here. And yes, the Welsh castles are very famous. The English ones are famous, but I always say that the Scottish and the Welsh ones are probably even more famous. due to the civil wars. All right, so this is what it looks like. I mean, sometimes Edinburgh, for example, is probably the one of the most famous. I'd say most famous in the British Isles, because it stands on top of a dormant volcano. All right, so there's the volcano, and then this volcano hasn't erupted in millions of years, they say. So they built a castle on top of it before they even knew it was a dormant volcano. Lahan Castle, Carnarvon Castle. This is the one that I mentioned in the quiz. Beautiful castle, and when you go inside this place, you can go all the way up, and then you walk around up here, and inside there are lots of little visitor attractions. So they have reenactments, they have games, medieval shops, all that sort of thing, and it's exactly like stepping back in time, which is honestly, it is fantastic. If you ever get the chance to go there, or you go to the UK, a lot of people go to the UK and they go to London for 2 weeks. When I speak to my students, they say, "Sir, what's London like?" And I say, "London's great. Go for 3 days and then go somewhere else," because honestly, it is incredible. The amount of really nice things that we have in the UK that are outside London, right? People think that all there is to the UK, London, that's it, London. No. There's a lot of stuff outside London, I can tell you. And it's a beautiful castle, Carnarvon. Dinfrick Park and Castle, I can't pronounce some of these. I mean, some of these are probably ruins. All right. And you can see that they overlook the rivers, and they're always strategically placed, these castles. And the idea was that they'd be built so high and they'd be so well fortified that any armies coming in, from the foreign land of England or Scotland or whatever, they would be defeated. Now, to try and take over a castle that had hundreds of soldiers in it, and they all had armaments like swords, metal suits, and all the rest of it. Very difficult. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, look at this from the air. This is the moat around they would build a moat. Then what they would have is what they called a drawbridge. So they would pull this bridge up on both sides, so that any invading forces would they couldn't get into it, because they have that large wall there. They would have to get into the moat, swim across. Now, back then, a lot of people probably couldn't swim, and then they would need a ladder to get up into the castle. Well, that's a lot of hassle. But in modern warfare, castles are pretty much irrelevant these days, so we just have them as museums or little salutes to the past, because lots of nice people in the UK. Well, I mean, I think there are nice people everywhere. You think about India, you think about all these other countries. I mean, I've been to many countries in my life, but there are still a lot I haven't visited. Scottish castles, of course, are the next ones that we could we could sit here and talk all night long about castles. Incredible. But to think that a lot of these buildings are 900 years old, they are very old buildings. Probably some of the oldest buildings in the world that still have functions. When I say still have functions, they're still functioning castles. We're using them for something. Let's have a look at this one. This one's a courtesy of a website called bestofscotland.com. I don't know if it... Let's have a look. Oh, not many pictures on there. I want something with pictures. Britain Express. But I mean, they're dotted all over the place. They are literally everywhere, these places. So let's have a look. And if we go here, I'll show you some other ones. Let's have a look. So Scotland is in the north, right? So you have England, then you have Scotland. Wait a second. No, I don't want that one. I want Scottish castles. Oh, there. Maybe I've typed something in incorrectly, so that it's confused. I've confused Google. VisitScotland.com has a lot of very nice pictures, right? And Scotland is, I think, probably it's more remote. All right, so there are fewer people. I think only 4 or 5 million people live in Scotland, and the landscape up there is just incredible. And a lot of films have been filmed up there. James Bond has been filmed up there. This is the most famous one, Edinburgh Castle, set atop a craggy extinct. So the volcano isn't dormant, it's extinct. So once upon a time, they think this was a volcano, this little hill. Edinburgh Castle is unquestionably Scotland's most famous and important castle. This sprawling complex houses the crown jewels, the Stone of Destiny, and Mons Meg. Get there in time for firing of the 1 o'clock gun. So they have a 1 o'clock gun salute every day by the sound of that. Bremer Castle, beautiful. Balmoral. This is another one of the Queen's residences, and she often holidays here. She goes here for other royal engagements as well. So that it says here, Queen Victoria lovingly described Balmoral as her dear paradise in the Highlands, and it remains a private home of the royal family. When not in residence, visitors can enjoy exhibitions at Castle Ballroom, the largest room in the castle, and wander through the charming gardens and grounds. Yes, so that's what they say about that one. Blair Castle, that's an unusual one, like out of a fairy tale. I want to meet you, teacher, one day. I know. I see the castles in your live stream for the first time. Thank you so much. No problem. Well, if we've got a few extra minutes, I've got plenty of extra time here. Inveraray Castle, that's, that it's the sort of thing you can imagine. This is where they got the Rapunzel type stories from, these beautiful towers with these cone roofs, a damsel in distress with long hair flowing out of the top. Please come and save me! And then our hero at the bottom here. It's quite easy to see where all of these stories came from. It's the austere facade of the Inveraray Castle, the seat of the Dukes of Argyll, stands in direct contrast to its sumptuous interior, which embodies the pinnacle of the 18th century neoclassical elegance. Admire the priceless Beauvais tapestries in the drawing room and outstanding views of Loch Fyne. So there's a lake nearby that one. Calder Castle, Ellen Dominic Castle. Just look at that, and I think that's probably the one that James Bond was it actually filmed somewhere like that? I might be wrong. One of the most photographed castles in the world, boasting a perfect picture postcard setting the island entrance of Loch Duich. I hope I pronounced that correct. Elaine Donnan is steeped Jacobite lore. Among the rare artifacts on display is a sword said to have been wielded at Culloden. Dunontar Castle. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these places right, because Scottish or Scotland, yes, they use English mainly, but it's a totally different variant of English, and some of these words I probably am pronouncing incorrectly, believe it or not. Beautiful places. Stirling Castle looks a solid castle, does that? Beautiful castle. Discover more breathtaking castles. So yeah, visit Scotland.com if you want to go and have a look. Have a good read at some of those things. I'll put a link in there. You can have Visit England and Visit Wales as well. Okay. Let me just put those links in the chat box for you just before I go back there. Oh yeah. Okay, visitengland.com I think is the other one, and visitwales.com. And I'll just type those in. I think that's right. Visitwales.com, visitengland.com. Let me just confirm that because I'm not so sure. I've put that in. Visitscotland.com. Visit. They all have, yeah, visitwales.com. Alright, and so the other one is Visit England. Have I done Visit England? Visitwales.com. There we go. Alright, I'll just copy that in. Oh, copy and paste. Visitwales.com. Oh yeah, Visit England. Oh, Scotland. I haven't put the Visit Scotland one in. How rude I am, so. Visitscotland.com. Oh, I mean, you know, these countries, it's like anything else, isn't it? Global tourism is a huge thing, and now we can start moving again. You can go and visit these castles. You can go to these different places. The links there are there. Oh, the visitwales.com didn't link properly, did it? Nor did Visit England. Just a minute. Because I didn't put the HTTPS in, that's why. I'll try and put the links in because so it helps you type it instead of typing it or anything like that. Copy. There we go. So we've got Visit Scotland.com, Visit England.com, now Visit Wales.com. Right, so the Wales one didn't link also. Right, I'll put that in. So thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on VOD, I hope you've enjoyed the silent letters. I hope you enjoyed the quizzes. I hope you also enjoyed having a look at some of these beautiful pictures from Scotland, England and Wales. 3 different countries, but they are all part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So yeah, that's, I mean, I know it's a bit confusing, but the history is long, and the history is complex. It's a complex history, and there's a lot that's there's a lot happening there at the moment, which means that, you know, I hope Scotland never leaves the it's still classified, I guess, as the British Empire, and I hope Scotland, but you see, because we share a border, the English and the Scottish, you know, it doesn't serve anybody any benefit if Scotland becomes its own country. Now, some people in Scotland want Scotland to become its own country again, independent of London. So it's a very complex matter. All right, I don't want to go too much into politics, but there is a lot of politics happening there over who is the governor or who are the government. So yes, a lot happening there. Well, Pallavi, I'm glad you joined and I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed the stream anyway. I'll take your comments on board and we'll have a look at some of those things that you mentioned, idioms and figurative languages and stuff like that. We also have noun clauses, noun phrases coming up, so in the future there's plenty coming from my stream and my channel, and I'm going to try and get more videos done as well. In the meantime, if you made it through this far, well done. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you found it of interest. I'm Mr. Gary. If you want to go over here, over here, yeah, and there is another live stream for you, and you might also want to go down here, and you never know, if you feel compelled enough, press that subscribe button. Thanks so much for joining. Take care of yourselves, and I'll end the stream there. Good day to you. Have a nice day. All the best.